Bam! My peoples. My peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Y'all know what we doing, man. We talking boxing. I'm Jay Smith. And let me kick this thing off like I always do, man, by reminding you, it don't matter if it's cold, if it's hot. It don't matter the weather, if it's raining, if it's snowing. If you're awake, if you breathing, it's a beautiful day, man. God gave us another one. Thank you, God, for giving us another day, blessing us with another one to enjoy our family, to enjoy life, to enjoy the sweet science, my people. Salute to those already tuning in. Size already in the building. Toy Mafia, Ronaldo, Queeb. What's the deal, my peoples? Yes, sir. Happy Monday to everybody, man. We talking boxing. This is what we love. What a way to kick off the week. What a weekend of boxing. Zuffa boxing was on yesterday. Opetaia becomes the first Zuffa champion. The first fighter to wear the Zuffa strap is Opetaia. We saw it yesterday. By the way, Glanton gave him a heck of a fight. Glanton gave him a fight. They went at it. Of course, Opetaia was the better fighter, but he wasn't able to get the stoppage. He wasn't able to dominate the way maybe some of us thought he would. So salute to Glanton for putting up a good fight. Ultimately, the better man won. Opetaia did what he had to do to walk out of there with the dub. Queeb, Zufa 4 was peak on the main card. Listen, my peoples. Zuffa boxing, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. They're doing a great job with the matchmaking. We're not seeing, fighters just getting easy wins, getting cherry-picked easy wins for them to just blow their opponent out of there. We're getting some tough competitive fights. Look what Queeb is saying. Glam made out of cement. Oh, no, 808 Shorts says Glam made out of cement. Bro, Glam took everything and anything Opetaia had to dish out. Boom, still fighting back. So, like I said, man, salute to Glam for giving us a good fight. Salute to Opetaia. Congratulations, becoming the first Zuffa belt champion. The first Zuffa champion. We got to see the Zuffa belt on full display. Now, Opetaia rocking it. That belt got diamonds all over the place and everything. I think, the Zuffa belt is like an acquired taste. You got to get used to it. We used to seeing a green belt, a red belt, like these colors and this gold in the belts. And now you got this one that is all kind of like black and these matte colors. So I think that's the reason why some people don't like the Zuffa belt. It looks very similar to the UFC belts. But ultimately, Opetaia is the Zuffa champion. Side, Jai put on that fake smile when they put that belt on him. He wants undisputed. So, look, that's something that we're going to talk about. We have to talk about that because the whole situation with the IBF may be, a telltale sign for us of what's going to happen with the sanctioning bodies and Zufa. That might be it. But if you watch the fight, before we get to the belts, let's talk about the fight. Somebody said Glanton is made out of cement. Opetaia landed some mean shots on him. Look, man, right there, he got him looking like an avatar, bro. Face all swole up. But Glanton, man, he a tough fighter. Opetaia was not able to get him out of there. He was trying, but some fighters, they tough like that. That's part DNA, part heart, part skills. It's a combination of things that allow a fighter like Glanton to go the distance with Opetaia. Queeb, to the old Mexican fight in the main, I think it was co-main or opening to the main card, was so good. That comeback victory after 2 knockdowns. Listen, bro, this is going to be a common theme with Zuffa Boxing. I already peep game with them. They're doing their very best to match up these fighters evenly. So these are really fights where anything can happen. All of them. So far, we've seen it in the first 3 Zuffa cards, and we saw it yesterday. Zuffa's matching them up. They doing a great job with the matchups, man. We're used to seeing the guy who's 10-0 getting in the ring with the guy who's 16 wins and 10 losses. The guy that's 10-0 getting in the ring with the guy that got 5 wins and 25 losses. And he get an easy win. And they padding those records. Not on Zuffa, bro. The guy that's 10-0 on Zuffa is fighting a guy that's 11-1. The guy that's 15-0 on Zufa is fighting a guy that's 18-2, 18-1, just like him, 15. So this is the reason why on Zuffa Boxing, we seen guys keep losing that O. On the first 3 cards alone, I saw like 5 different fighters lose that O. What does that tell you? My peoples, when you see a guy make it to 20-0, to 25-0 on Zuffa Boxing, that's going to be a legit record. There's not going to be a padded record. That's for sure. So I give credit to Dana White. I give credit to their matchmakers on Zuffa Boxing. They doing their thing. Now, what's up with the sanctioning bodies, right? What's really good with the sanctioning bodies? Here's the deal, my peoples. The IBF already said they stripped Opetaia. So, to be honest with y'all, I think it's kind of funny that not funny, I understand them, but I also find it funny that Jai wants to keep displaying the IBF belt. They already said they stripping your ass, bro. They already said you're not the IBF champion. So why go around holding their belt, showing their belt? There's no point in that. I felt like at the end of the fight, he should have had the Ring Magazine belt and the Zuffa belt. What is you doing holding a title when they already said they stripped you? You're not going to be their champion anymore. So I think what the IBF did is kind of giving us a preview of what's going to end up happening with the other sanctioning bodies. Now, Dana White did say in yesterday's presser after the fight that it's going to be a case-by-case basis, and they're going to see, if fighters want to go after their dreams to pursue for undisputed and all that stuff, he's going to try to make it happen. But look, Jopataya wanted to be undisputed. And the IBF, for whatever reason, said, no, if this fight is going to be a Zuffa fight for the Zuffa title, we're not going to sanction it. Our title's not going to be on the line. And there you have it. They chose to strip them. So it looks like the sanctioning bodies are not trying to play ball with Zuffa. They like, listen, if we got a champion, he's either, or at least the IBF, that's what they're telling us. The IBF champion is either going to fight for the IBF title on the line, sanctioned by us, and if they're going to fight Zuffa Boxing, then our title's not going to be on the line. Now, I'm going to say this. I want to put Dana White on the spot real quick. Dana White says that the other promotional companies are doing a horrible job. They disorganized. They all of this and that. But the IBF said that they really had no contact with Zufa or with anybody there about the sanctioning of this fight. So Dana White's version is, yeah, we brought them over, got them a per diem, and they just went back home and did nothing. I don't know the details, but according to the IBF, they didn't go through the process of getting this fight sanctioned by the IBF. In fact, I saw, I don't know if it was a statement from somebody in the IBF saying, we found out about this fight on social media. They talking about, yeah, the IBF title's on the line. When the hell did they decide that? They didn't square that up with us. So you're talking about the other promotional companies being disorganized, and it looks like y'all just decided that the fight was going to have the IBF title on the line when the IBF didn't even sanction the fight. So that wasn't a good look. You know, for Opetaia to be stripped of the IBF title, and then after the fight, he like, nah, I didn't get stripped. I didn't get stripped. I got it. Nah, buddy, your ass is stripped. The fight wasn't sanctioned by the IBF. Quick, but I can't lie. It was so quiet before the main card. Bunch versus Panic. Quick, holding the IBF like that, maybe saying, I'm still the IBF champ to the people, I think. I mean, you could say whatever you want, my G, but at the end of the day, if the title, if you get stripped and then there's going to be a vacant title and then there's going to be somebody else fighting for that title, you're only going to be the IBF champion you had. Because somebody else is going to hold it. That would be the equivalent like Jermell Charlo walking out with the 154 titles to his fight. It's like, bro, you haven't been a champion for these sanctioning bodies for a long time. They've been stripped your ass. Those ain't your titles anymore. And I'm going to tell you something. And that's my perspective. I never liked it be when a former champion or a champion who doesn't have those titles anymore walk out with the belts. Like, bro, you don't got them titles anymore. Like, you're not the champion, whether it's that division or wherever you at. You're not even the champion. What are you doing with those belts? Keep them shits at home. Those are your souvenirs. You're a former world champion. So now, Opetaia, he's going to be a former IBF world champion. He could say, yo, I'm the real champion. But nah, you got stripped. That's it. You cooked. And like I said, man, this is giving us a preview suggesting to me that the sanctioning bodies are not going to play ball with Zufa. Now, we already saw the IBF, what they just did to Opetaia, right? But then consider the WBC, Mauricio the Goofball Sulaiman. You guys know that he don't like Zufa. We seen him talk against Zufa, talk against Dana White. So watch the WBC do the same thing. If you're a WBC champion and you're going to fight for the Zufa belt, oops, we stripping you, buddy. You can't do that. Skip a clip of Salute Family, bam, quit. Yeah, that is a bit goofy. Like, I'm trying to tell you, bro, Opetaia looked goofy as hell talking about, nah, I didn't get stripped. I got this. No, bro, you got stripped. The fight was not sanctioned by the IBF, and they already said that they stripping you. So they got to get that sorted out. They got to get that whole situation sorted out. Now, I will say, that doesn't take anything away from what Opetaia did in the ring. Justin May, the rapper, Salute Family. It doesn't take anything away from what Opetaia did inside the ring. You know, Glanton, somebody in the comment section earlier said he made out of cement. I mean, damn, he took everything Opetaia had to offer. So it was a good fight, a good 12-rounder. They went at it. Opetaia dominated like he was supposed to. Didn't get the stoppage, but got a clear victory. So great win for Opetaia, and let's see what's next. Now that we know that the IBF is not going to play ball with Zufa, the WBC, I promise you, they definitely not going to play ball with Zufa. Let's see what Opetaia is going to do next. Benavidez, by the way, said it himself that he don't know exactly how this thing is going to play out because he's a PBC fighter. Dana White, you know, so far hasn't said about doing promotional fights. So let's see how this thing is going to play out. Is Opetaia going to be happy that he lost his IBF strap? Is he going to be happy that he won't be able to go for undisputed? Is he going to be having the Ring Magazine belt and the Zufa belt? Justin May, the rapper. If you can do that for me, please, I would really appreciate it. Thanks. I'm not sure what you're referring to, bro. Do what for you? So again, my peoples, it was a great fight. I give Opetaia credit for walking out of there with the W, but that IBF belt, somebody else is going to be fighting for it. It's a wrap. Is Opetaia going to be happy? Is he going to be happy at Zuffa Boxing? Or is he going to be the first guy to say, nah, I want out because I want to fight for these titles. If I'm going to be here and I can't get the IBF, the WBC, WBO, WBF, if I can't fight for those belts, I'm going to want out of here. Let's see it. Is he going to be comfortable, happy with staying there? Justin May the rapper. And listen to all of them and tell me what you think about them. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. We over here talking boxing. You talking about listen to what? Golly. Bro, we talking boxing. You're on the wrong spot for that. If you're over here to promote some projects, some stuff, man, you're in the wrong place, family. We over here talking boxing. We talking Opetaia. We talking Zufa boxing. We talking the sanctioning bodies, and you talking about listen to what? Come on, man. Get with the program, bro. My peoples, we was talking about this over the weekend. Eddie Hearn, Dana White, and them saying that they willing to fight each other. I don't know if you've seen it, but Dana White was asked, would you fight Eddie Hearn? And he said, listen, if Eddie Hearn want to fight, we could fight. Justin May, don't tell me how to promote my music. Man, get your goofy ass out of here, man. We don't need your dummy ass out of here. Look at this dummy over here. He showed up to people's channel to promote his shit. Goofball. So again, my peoples, we got Dana White, we got Eddie Hearn talking about fighting each other. Now, we've never seen this happen. Two promoters have never climbed the ring to box each other. I say that would be epic. That shit would be crazy. Honestly, I don't see it happening. I think it's, a good conversation to have and good for the trash talking. I don't see that happening. Dana White, if I'm not mistaken, he's in his late 50s. Maybe 60 years old. I don't know. I'm not sure. Eddie Hearn. No, Dana White in his late 50s. Eddie Hearn in his late 40s. I can't see them stepping in the ring and actually fighting each other. But the fact that Dana White says, hey, if Eddie Hearn want to fight, we could fight. And Eddie Hearn says, I'll spark him out. That makes it interesting. Plus, Eddie Hearn pointed out, look, Netflix will probably give us a fortune to fight each other. So that makes it an interesting talking point. Like, damn, this could happen. I don't see it happening, but it could. And I tell you what, man, if they were to box, we would all tune in. We would all tune in. Obviously, it's not a championship fight. I say this would have to be like a 4-rounder or something like that. A 4 or a 6-rounder. It can't be, too long because they're both older. They both not professional boxers. But I tell you what, man, I would support this 100%. And I got to say, look, Eddie Hearn is a big dude. Dana White is strong. Don't get it twisted. Dana White is in good shape. I don't know if he's on that HGH on something. He looked like he on something. But Eddie Hearn is a big dude, man. He like 6'4", 6'5". I think he pummels Dana White. He like 6'5", I think. And it's not just that he's 6'5". I seen him on the mitts. I know he knows how to throw his punches. I've seen Dana boxing too. I think Eddie Hearn is more skilled when it comes to the hands. And when you're talking about a lot bigger and 10 years younger, I say that's too much physical advantage for Eddie Hearn. If they was to box, I see him pummeling Dana White. Quick, let's hope Dana White doesn't use this as a way to say the other promotions don't want their fighters to come and maybe lose their belt to a Zufa fighter. Maybe because of the better matchmaking. 626. Dana is too rich to fight. Pasta track. Jace, salute, family. So, 626. You're right, Dana, but both of them are too rich to fight. Because Eddie Hearn is wealthy, bro. It's not just Dana. But Dana's the one saying, yo, if Eddie Hearn want to fight, we could fight. And then Eddie responded to that like, yo, listen, I spark him out. We could make a fortune, you know. Netflix will pay a fortune to do it. But, you know, it's an interesting talking point. I can't imagine that they would ever step in the ring. But I do say, man, two promoters stepping in the ring and fighting each other, that would be an epic event. I'd like to see it. Not that I think it's going to happen. I don't see it happening. Because, again, just like you said, they're both wealthy. And they're both the promoters. But I'd like to see them step in there and trade leather. And I don't think it plays out too well for Dana White, to be honest. Pasa try. Wait, hold on. These two billionaires saying they're getting in the ring. If so they're not saying they're going to get in the ring. I think it was a reporter that asked Dana White if he'd be willing to fight Eddie. I don't know what they asked him, but he said, look, if Eddie wants to fight, we could fight. I've been in the ring before I boxed before, we could fight. So Eddie Hearn, they asked him about that comment. And he's like, well, you know, if I get chinned, I get chinned, but I spark him out. And I agree with Eddie. I think he sparks him out. Undercard or main card. Man, listen, Eddie Hearn, Dana White will be the main event. Pause track. You get a better fight outside the liquor store 10 minutes after it opens. Now, look, if Eddie Hearn, and this is just, you know, hypothetical stuff. Because honestly, I don't think any of us see them actually stepping in the ring and fighting. It's just a good talking point because they brought it up. They talking about fighting each other, right? But if it was to happen, you know, I could imagine both of them having a training camp, preparing. You know, both of them are super competitive, man. They'll both, you know, prepared to try to win that fight. They both want to win badly. That's how I see it playing out. So they'll step in there in the best shape that they could get and go at it. But it's like I told you, man, Eddie Hearn is a big dude. I see him pummeling Dana White, if I'm being honest with y'all. Pasa track. Nah, it's me to Jay. You know that. I mean, it's competitiveness. Competitive stuff. It is. It's like I told you, I don't see them fighting each other, but I see both of them wishing that they could. I see both of them wishing that they could put hands on the other guy. It's just the logistics of it, you know. You're both, it's something that we've never seen before, right? Two promoters have never climbed the ring and actually fought each other. So it's hard for us to even envision it happening. But it doesn't mean that it cannot happen. It doesn't mean that it's impossible. Two people that got money, all they have to do is decide that they want to do it, and they'll do it. Pasa try. Remember Elon and Zuckerberg were going to fight May 2nd? Little nephew have more action. Yeah, but Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, that was never meant to happen. You know why? Because Mark Zuckerberg has actually been training in combat. Elon Musk, he know what was going to happen. He was going to get brutalized. So that's different. These two are involved in combat sports, both of them. Both of them been in the ring. Both of them have boxed, not professionally, of course, but both of them had traded leather with somebody in the ring. Both of them, they feel like, I could beat this guy up. Dana feel like he could beat Eddie up. Eddie feel like he could pummel Dana. So, look, if this fight was to happen, which we don't expect it to, right? But if it was to happen, we all tuning in. All tuning in to watch this thing. I guarantee you. Queen, Jay Smith versus Dana. I bet the house on Jay Smith. I bet the baits on Dana White. He washed. He washed. But it's like I told y'all, man. This will be interesting just to see how it plays out. My people, let's segue into Shakur Stevenson and Ryan Garcia. So, Shakur Stevenson says that he would only put a weight class on a fighter if he moves to the welterweight division. Now, Why is he saying that? Simple. He's a 135 pounder who moved up to 140 for that Teofimo Lopez fight. And he feels like if he was to fight Ryan Garcia at welterweight, then without a rehydration clause, Ryan Garcia would have an unfair advantage. Why? Because Shakur's going to rehydrate to 148, 149 because he's trying to gain the weight, while Ryan Garcia will rehydrate to 168, 170. And he's going to outweigh him by over 20 pounds. So he's like, nah, hold on. I'll fight you at welterweight, but there's a rehydration clause. Ryan Garcia saying, oh, now you know I'll never go on a rehydration clause again. Just say that you're scared. So here's the magic question. Is Shakur right by asking for a rehydration clause if he moves up to the welterweight division? Is that the right thing to do? I say yes. I say yes. Because you got to remember, Ryan himself said, I'll fight you at a cash weight of 144. And Shakur was like, let's do it. Let's do that. But now, Ryan is saying, nope. Welterweight, no rehydration clause. And Shakur like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm not trying to go to the welterweight division and fight you outweighing me by 20 pounds, 30 pounds. Nah. We got to weigh around the same if we're going to fight each other. So I get it. I think it's reasonable to say to somebody, we got to weigh around the same come fight night. You're not going to outweigh me by 20 pounds and shit. Pause and track. I can't stand this shit. Make weight and fight. I don't remember Ray Leonard talking about hydration clauses. Yeah, but you also don't remember Ray Leonard jumping up 2 divisions to fight people. He was fighting people his own weight class. You also don't remember Shakur Stevenson asking Teofimo Lopez for a weight clause. You don't remember Shakur Stevenson asking anybody in his division for a weight clause. But if you jumping up 2 divisions, that's a different story. A way different story. Come on now. Look, let me give you an example. Look at Conor Benn. Look at Conor Benn, what he did. Conor Benn went up and got a rehydration clause for Chris Eubank Jr. Remember that? And look how funny things are, though. Conor Benn got a rehydration clause for Chris Eubank Jr. And then, when Shakur's saying, let's fight, he's saying, nah, no rehydration clause for me. Oh, so you made somebody else get a rehydration clause to fight you when you went up, but when somebody coming up to fight you, now you don't want a rehydration clause. Now you're like, nah, we got to do it straight up. Huh? You got to keep the same energy. The same thing that you did with Chris Eubank Jr. is what you got to do now. You asked for a rehydration clause and you got it. Well, now you give a rehydration clause too. Keep the same energy. Quick question. What is a rehydration clause? Sorry, I sound goofy on a basic question. Not well, the IBF has a 10-pound rehydration clause. It basically means once you make weight, you can't gain more than X amount of pounds for fight night. Usually rehydration clause is 10 pounds. So if you're at 147 and you got a rehydration clause, you can't weigh more than 157 for the fight. And look, it's actually fair. It's actually fair. You know why? Because if we're welterweights, then we should be fighting at welterweight. But motherfuckers want to be fighting at welterweight and then show up on fight night a middleweight. Come on now. It's fair to say, yo, let's weigh close to the limit of the division that we're fighting in. Just do boxing in the building. Salute, family. Bam. Appreciate you dropping in, my brother. Quick. To prevent so-called weight bully. Pass the track. I'm not trying to change topics, but Ray started at 135, 140, and then moved up to the middleweight. I could be wrong. Okay, but Shakur Stevenson started at 130. Wasn't it at 130 that Shakur Stevenson started? And one at 130, one at 135, now one at 140. So Shakur Stevenson is doing the same thing. He's doing the same thing that Ray Leonard did. He's going up in divisions. But it's not like Ray Leonard went from 135 all the way to wherever he ended up his career at. Oh, just do boxing, fact check me, that's facts. Shakur started at 126. 126, 130, 135, 140. Bro, that's already 4 divisions for Shakur Stevenson. 4. 4 at 28 years old. Come on, bro. Ronaldo, good morning, my people. Boxing for breakfast. Salute, family. We got that action yesterday. We got that action. Come on now. Pasta track. So you're saying Shakur is just moving up a bit slower? Pasta track. How is Shakur moving up a bit slower? By 28 years old, he's a 4-division champion. He's moving up a lot faster. Ray Leonard wasn't a 4-division champion at that same age, bro. You got it backwards. You see, you got a certain level of hate for Shakur Stevenson that you're always trying to formulate an angle against Shakur Stevenson. He's moved faster than Ray Leonard. He's accomplished more than Ray Leonard at 28 years old. What are you talking about, bro? The hate for Shakur Stevenson is wild. Look at the numbers. Look at the stats. Just do Baxter's fastest 4-division champion in history with 25 fights. Did you get that pasta track? Shakur Stevenson is the fastest 4-division champion. Where are you getting that he moved up too slow? That he's moving up too slow, because that's what you're saying. Look what you're saying, Pasta Track. So you're saying Shakur is just moving up a bit slower? How could he be moving up a bit slower when he's the fastest 4-division champion, bro? In 25 fights at 28 years old. He did it faster than Ray Leonard, younger than Ray Leonard. What are you comparing? And plus, you're comparing him with an all-time great, which just says that Shakur is an all-time great in your eyes. There you have it. Look what we're comparing him to. But Shakur Stevenson also said, I don't need Tank. I don't need him. Look at that. Pasta track. I love Shakur, my man. Okay, I was wrong about how fast Ray moving up. My bad. But you see, you're making a comparison between Ray Leonard and Shakur Stevenson to say that Shakur's moving up slow and to say that you don't like rehydration clause. So you don't like what Shakur's doing, but you like Shakur. You sound like an in-the-closet Shakur hater. You say all the things that Shakur haters say, and then when we're pointing out, nah, yo, Shakur's doing it fast. You're like, oh, no, I love Shakur. You sound like a Shakur in-the-closet hater, bro. Side. Inoue did it in 25 also. Tied with Inoue. Ooh, there you go. Now you got the monster Inoue. Another great fighter. Tay, if Shakur move up to 147 and be the champion, in my opinion, there won't be anyone else for him to do 5-division champ and probably 3-time lineal champion. And here's the deal. Here's the thing I want you to understand. Floyd Mayweather is a 5-division champion. Floyd. And at 24 years old, at 28 years old, I think he already turned 29, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all can fact check me on that. 28, 29 years old, Shakur's already a 4-division champion. His next belt, when he wins the title at 147, which he will at some point, he's going to catch up to Floyd Mayweather. Let that shit sizzle in your spirit, my peoples. Tay, by the age of 30, that's crazy stats. That's crazy. Tay, don't forget Kosei Tanka. Daniel Negron, Shakur is too much talent, even at his worst. Of course. You saw when he won versus Edwin De Los Santos, beat him with one hand. Literally beat him with one hand. People refused to acknowledge that he had a bad hand. They just wanted to say that was a bad performance and he didn't do nothing. He didn't throw punches. With one hand, he beat an elite level fighter. Pasta track. I didn't like Shakur before. No, you still don't like Shakur now, bro. You still don't like him now. You still be making against Shakur arguments. Yes, Then when you told me he was going to whoop Tio, and he did, I gained a lot of respect for the kid and you. It was off the cuff comment, my man. And look at this. Look at this. Look how Shakur and how his star power is just going up and up. We used to see him be thirsty for that fight with Tank Davis. I want to fight Tank. Calling out Tank after every fight, saying he want to fight Tank. But look, he's already pivoted. Now he's like, yo, I don't need nobody. I don't need him. You see, now Shakur's star power is already carrying its own. Carrying himself. So now he's at a point where he's like, yo, if Tank want to fight, we could fight. But I don't need him. My star power is going to continue to rise. And you guys know, this would be the biggest fight in boxing. If Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis was to fight, it would be the biggest fight in boxing. Why we can't get that fight? You guys know why we can't get that fight. You know who don't want to fight who. You know who's ducking who. But we could play dumb about it. We could act like we don't know. We all know what's up. Tay, it's only what? 3 current 4 division champions in boxing. Monster, Core, and Canelo. I'm telling you, 4 division champion, everybody don't get to that point. Everybody don't get to that level. That's a whole new level. Ramirez, Jay Smith, you know I love you, bro. Shakur is one skillful fighter, but wasn't he crapping on rehydration and cash weights? What's the difference now? And it's tough, Smith, but now it's going to be tough. So it's easy to answer that question, Ramirez. Shakur ain't asking for rehydration clause for guys fighting in his own division. He shitted on it because Tank Davis be putting rehydration clause on fighters to fight him at 135. He's a 135-pound fighter, putting guys on rehydration clause. Remember Ryan fighting him on a rehydration clause? That's what Shakur shitted on. Shakur ain't never asked a 135-pound fighter to do a rehydration clause. He had his debut at 140 versus Teofimo Lopez and still didn't ask him for a rehydration clause. He's only saying, and he said it specifically, I'm only going to ask for a rehydration clause if I'm moving to 147. Because I'm not a 147-pound fighter. So I'm not going to go up there and rehydrate 2-3 pounds because I'm trying to gain the weight and fight a guy that's going to outweigh me by 20 pounds. Bro, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. Look, everybody that's saying, oh, he got a rehydration clause, he got a rehydration clause. I didn't see you guys saying that when Conor Benn got a rehydration clause on Chris Eubank Jr. Why? Because he was moving up. And look what happened the first fight. He lost the first fight. And then he got a rematch and won. He had to get acclimated to that weight to win the rematch. But the first fight, he got beat. Clearly got beat. With a rehydration clause. So when you're talking about jumping up 2 divisions, because Shakur has 1 fight at 140, let's get it right now. 1 fight at 140. So why wouldn't it be right for him to say at 147, okay, let's get a rehydration clause? Perfect. Let's get a rehydration clause going. Of course that makes perfect sense. You're going to fight somebody that's going to outweigh you by 20 pounds? Come on, bro, that don't even make no sense. You giving up height advantage, reach advantage, and weight advantage? That's bad business. Bad business. Come on, bro. Side, Tay, I think that's it, bro. Ramirez, if Haney and Ryan and Tank for the titles will be biggest fight, bro. That rematch, we all want to see it. I mean, look, Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney is a very much anticipated rematch. We know how the first fight played out. Obviously, Ryan Garcia showed up with the 3 pounds overweight. He popped dirty. And then he beat the crap out of Devin Haney. So we want to see the rematch. We want to see how it plays out. If you both make weight, if you both are clean, how does it really play out? We want to see it. But Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson, that's the biggest fight in boxing. Take. Soon, Junto Nakatani will be joining those guys. I mean, Junto Nakatani versus the Monster, I expect that to be a very, very good fight, very competitive. Haven't made a prediction yet, but I will. I will. Pass the track. I'm all for Shakur as a fighter, yes. Maybe my 45-year-old mind is a bit rusty on hydration clause from years ago. Anyway, I wish Tank was active and Ryan deserved another shot at Tank. But he not doing it. So, I'm going to tell you this right now. Tank Davis, based on what they're saying on his side and his team and Coach Cal, it looked like Tank Davis is going to come back this year. It looked like we're going to see him boxing this year. Is he going to get the rematch with Pitbull? Maybe. Maybe. But I think you guys agree with me when I say I want to see Tank versus Shakur, versus Devin, versus Tio. I want to see those fights. Yes, I want to see the rematch with Ryan Garcia, but I want to see those fights more. Why? Because they have not happened. All of the guys that I mentioned been called out Tank Davis a bunch of times. Been expressed that they want to fight Tank. I want to see Tank finally get in there with those guys. Daniel Negron, Ryan and Haney, it's another fight. Everyone wants to see that rematch. Very much anticipated. Tay, I can find out where to get some tickets. I'm attending that fight. Haven't been able to find any yet. Quig, which one is bigger? Stevenson versus Tank or Ryan versus Tank rematch after Ryan beats Haney again? I mean, if Ryan Garcia beats Haney, him and Tank will be a big fight. But here's the problem with that, bro. Ryan Garcia's already telling us he's not going down below the welterweight division. He's not fighting at under 147. That's one. And two, he's not fighting with a rehydration clause. He made that clear to Shakur Stevenson. Tank ain't going to welterweight. He not going to 147. So what I'm trying to tell you, my G, we're not going to see a Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis rematch. I mean, maybe in 4 or 5 years, Tank may decide to go to welterweight. He not going to 147 no time soon. It'll be years before we see Tank Davis at 147, if we ever see him at 147. It'll be years from now. He not going up there no time soon. Now, Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson, that fight could happen even next if they wanted it to. Why? Because Tank Davis is coming back to the 140 division. Remember I told you. Matter of fact, you don't have to remember I told you this. Tank Davis said that himself. Remember, before they announced the Jake Paul exhibition fight, we know that fell through, but before they announced it, Tank Davis posted saying, I'm either going to fight Manny Pacquiao or I'm going to fight at 140. Tank will never fight at 135 again. And I told you guys this before. I said it before. Tank Davis is struggling to make 135. He's not going to be able to keep making 135. Tank Davis be ballooning up to 160, 170, bro, between fights. You think it's easy for you to cut all that weight and shrink yourself down to 135? No. If he would have kept fighting at 135, you know what was going to happen? He was going to lose. And he wasn't going to lose because his opponent was better than him. He was going to lose because he was going to show up to a fight dehydrated, weak, not be able to be himself, and he was going to get beat. So he has to move up. No choice but to move up. You see how people say, no, Tank is too small. Tank is too small for 135. No, he not. He not too small for 135. He too big for 135. That's the reality. He way too big for 135. And he not going to be able to keep making that weight class. So there's no choice but to move up. Got to move up. You don't got a choice. Ramirez, rehydration clauses actually protect fighters, especially the smaller fighter, from the weight bullies that trying to weight bully in a weight class that they don't belong, like Richardson Hitchens. Queen. But what we need Tank take on everyone who has been coming him out, who has been calling him out, I don't want Tank to be a what if. I mean, look, Tank Davis, we know the talent of Tank Davis. We know the knockout power. We know the ring IQ. We know the skills. But we still don't know what happens if he fight all of the best. We don't know. Now, why hasn't Tank Davis fought all of the best? You guys tell me. Skip a clipper. Tank versus Pitbull, 140. Let's go. And I'm going to tell you what. Pitbull at 140 hasn't been so great, bro. Pitbull at 140, the guy that was knocking people out, that was hurting people, we're not seeing that at 140. Pitbull's more at 140. Pitbull, look at it like this. When you see Pitbull and Tank, Pitbull's one of the few fighters that Tank has fought that is smaller than him. Because Tank fight a lot of guys that are taller, that look bigger. Pitbull small as hell. And I'm gonna keep it real with you. I got no interest in Tank versus Pitbull 2. None. You know why? Because I saw Tank Davis beat Pitbull with one hand. People didn't want to acknowledge it. People didn't want to accept it. That fight was as close as it was and as competitive as it was because Tank Davis had one hand. You can't dominate a real good opponent with just one hand. Same thing with Shakur Stevenson and Edwin De Los Santos. Shakur fought him with one hand. You don't dominate an opponent like that. You just find a way to beat him without hurting yourself worse. So, even, look, I call that fight live. Tank versus Pitbull, I was doing commentary on that fight. And I specifically noticed, I think it was round number 3 or round number 4. I don't remember exactly. When Tank Davis punched him and went, ah! He actually did that sound, ah! And kept it moving. He got hurt. He broke his hand, or at least sprained it. And at the end of the fight, when they took the gloves off of Tank Davis, you saw that hand swole up like it was a glove itself. You saw it. So people don't like to accept it because they wanted Pitbull to win, or they was rooting for Pitbull, and they were like, Pitbull got him, Pitbull got him. But what really happened in that fight is that Tank Davis beat him with one hand. If they do a rematch, now Tank Davis healthy, two-handed, is going to dominate him. He's going to beat him even easier. I know the outcome of that fight. I don't need a rematch. I don't need a rematch, my peoples. I know what happens. I know how it plays out. Pasta Track, do you think Tank power will translate to 140? It will. It will. Tank it's a real hard puncher. And it's like I told you, Tank walk around in the 160s, bro. 170s. Tank big as hell. He's short, but he's still big as hell. So his power will translate to the 140. He stopped Mario Barrios. He stopped Mario Barrios at 140. So I think he'll go right into knocking people out in that division. Ramirez, no more rehydration clause slander. Tank only had Barrios and Ryan, two dudes that got the reach, height, and weight advantage on him. And mind you, rehydration been in boxing for decades. Of course. Rehydration, look, it's like I said before. If we're fighting and this is our division, there ain't no need for no rehydration clause. We both in this division. But if you moving up multiple weight classes, then I'm all for the rehydration clause. I'm all for it. Skipper Clipper, he KO'd Barrios at 140. Yeah, he stopped him at 140. So I know that he's going to bring his power up there with him. They just asked, please don't ghost watch, my peoples. Hit the like button. Yo, we almost been on for an hour, my peoples. God damn, 12 likes. Man, I'm going to end today's show early, B. People not even trying to hit the like button. I think I'm going to end today's show early. This is crazy. 12 likes, an hour of action? Golly. Ramirez, no lie. But what's a 135 for Tank? What big fights? Tank obviously don't care about Shakur at all. And the more Shakur talks, the more Tank just gonna laugh and fight Ryan, Devin, anyone else. Tank is not gonna fight Ryan, bro. Tank is not going to the welterweight division. You could forget about that. We're not gonna, I mean, it could happen a few years down the line, but he's not gonna do that. Look, think about it. Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, all of those guys were 135 pounders with Tank Davis. And at this point, Devin is at 147. Teofimo's talking about moving to 147. Shakur already fought at 140. And Tank is still at 135. He's been clinging on to that division to keep fighting the smaller guys. And not moving up like everyone else is moving up. But it's like I told you, he can't continue to make 135 to fight the little guys. To be bringing the guys from the 135 division, from the 130 division. Lamar Roach was a 130-pounder who moved up to fight Tank. Androide Garcia was also a 130-pounder who moved up to fight Tank. Leo Santa Cruz, a 130-pounder, Tank moved down to fight him. How many 130-pounders Tank got in his resume while he was at 135? 3, 4? So that's it. He can't stay at 135 anymore. He's going to have to go to 140, which he announced himself. So if you're at 140, you could fight the 140 guys without a rehydration clause. We both at 140. And that's what I said about Shakur Stevenson. He's never asked guys in his own division to have a rehydration clause. He fight them straight up. Give me a hug. Oh, I love you. Oh. Have fun in school.
Okay.
Okay, see you later. Our Booger, did you watch the Zuffa card? Salute, my brother. Hell yeah. Zufa continue to give us good boxing. Continue to give us good matchups. Posse track. Was it Tank left? I'm not sure what you mean by that, brother. Ramirez. All I'm going to say is, I love Shakur, but all them belts he winning and other people ain't going to remember him for that. There's been champions like him, multiple divisions, that don't get the appreciation. Shakur's going to be the face of boxing, bro. Shakur's literally going to be the face of boxing. Right now, he's already one of the most popular fighters in the world. One of the most popular fighters in the world today is Shakur Stevenson. Back. How much you do? How much you do me, little. I love you. Queen, you're right about Tank, but nobody wants to say one day Tank was scared to fight everyone. But that's what I'm saying. You see what you're saying, Ramirez, about Shakur? All that stuff that you're saying about Shakur, it actually applies to Tank. It applies to Tank, Ramirez. It's just that you don't like Shakur. You're in the closet Shakur hater. You say, oh, I like Shakur and all, but I just say negative stuff about Shakur and float negative narrative around Shakur. Come on, bro. Come on, Ramirez. Look at the energy that you got about Shakur. How about Tank? Who Tank for? Who Tank beat that you put him up there? Ramirez, Shakur will see if he don't fight names, all the accolades won't matter. You see that? You say if he don't fight name, all the accolades don't matter. He just beat Teofimo Lopez. Who in Tank resume can you compare to beating Teofimo Lopez? Teofimo Lopez, a multi-division champion, lineal champion, unified champion, Ring Magazine champion. Who in Tank Davis' entire resume Ramirez can you compare to the win that Shakur got over Teofimo Lopez? Who? Pass the track. When did they stop weighing the same day? That was years ago. Maybe decades ago. It's been a long time since they stopped that. Tay, Ryan's team made a mistake. Ryan's team made a horrible mistake, bro. They cooked right now. Right now, they are cooked. I mean, wait a minute. My bad. I'm making a mistake because you said Ryan's team made a mistake, but I'm going to be talking about Virgil and Oscar De La Hoya. So for a second, I confused Ryan with Virgil. How do you think they made a mistake? I'm not sure because, you know, they got a good win. They became world champions, and they haven't decided what's next. Remember, right now, Ryan did say that he's going to fight again in July, but we don't really know what's next for Ryan Garcia. So I wouldn't say that they made a mistake. I want to see what's next for them. Franchise. Good evening from Germany. Salute, family. Bam. Good morning from Dominican Republic. Tay, Leo versus Tank was at 130. Then he jumped up 2 weight classes to fight Barrios at 140. But, bro, you're saying he jumped up 2 weight classes. He was already fighting at 135, though. So is that really jumping up 2 weight classes? You fighting at 135. You move down to fight little Leo, and then you fight at 140. I don't consider that jumping up 2 weight classes. And by the way, let me remind you, he fought Barrios for the secondary title when Josh Taylor was the undisputed champion. He basically fought for a fake title. Fake-ass title. Quay Father of the Year. Whoa, salute, family. That's the biggest compliment you could pay me, brother. Shaggy, it doesn't cost anything to hit that like button. Whoa, you're not a bot. Let's talk boxing. That's what I'm talking about, bro. We've been going at it for an hour. An hour. Not even 20 likes. That is insane, bro. Insane. Side, I think it was his right hand. Honestly, I don't remember specifically, but I remember Tank getting hurt. Bam! Landed a hard shot, got hurt, and he beat Pitbull with just one hand. I don't need the rematch. I know how the rematch plays out. Ramirez, J. Smith, I'm not lying to you, bro. Tank can make 130, bro. Keep trying to pump that he can't make weight. Tank been weighing in 132, 133. Bro, you delusional. You are completely delusional. Completely delusional, bro. And you delusional about Tank. Number one, because you're a tankomaniac, bro. You're a legitimate tankomaniac. You go on here and say that, yo, Shakur better get big wins or his record don't mean nothing. I really like Shakur, but he ain't really doing it. And then when it comes to Tank, look what you're doing. Nah, yo, Tank will make weight, Tank will make. But you don't talk about Tank opponents. You don't talk about Tank not beating any of the big dogs. You don't talk about Tank resume. But with Shakur, you do it. Who you got in Tank resume that's better than Teofimo Lopez? Who you got in Tank resume that got a better resume than Teofimo Lopez? Nobody. But I'm going to explain to you why you're delusional about Tank Davis. Wait, Ramirez. Why you don't understand what I understand. Take it from a boxer. Take it from somebody who's been in the ring. The older you get, the harder it is to cut weight, Ramirez. I'm trying to teach you, brother. Tank Davis, think about, look, I'm just giving you logic. Let me give you logic so you can see that you're delusional about Tank Davis. Think about your body, and that goes to everybody in here. Think about your body when you was 25 years old and your body when you was 30. You think your body's the same when you're 25 or you're 30? So let me remind you to show you, Ramirez, that you're delusional about it. Tank Davis lost his title at 130 because he couldn't make weight, bro. The first time Tank Davis moved up to 135, He lost his title on the scale because he couldn't make weight. Now, what do you see Keyshawn Davis doing when he couldn't make weight? He moved up to the next division. What do you see Shakur Stevenson doing when he missed making weight? He moved up to the next division. What did Tank Davis do at 130 when he missed weight? He moved up to the next division. What more do you need to understand? He lost the title in the scale and moved up to 130. And Tank Davis made his debut at 135 when he was 25 years old. If you think that a 25-year-old fighter is going to be making the same weight at 30 years old, that's because you're delusional. You're just being a tankomaniac that wants to believe it so bad. Look. I told people before Tank Davis was about to fight Jake Paul, I told y'all, Tank Davis is not going to be able to make 135 anymore. I promise you, he's going to have to move up to 140 or retire. One of the two. And I said that, and the next day, Tank Davis posted, I'm going to fight Manny Pacquiao or I'm going to 140. So, Ramirez, you could think Tank Davis can make 130. Tank Davis can't make 130. I'm telling you this. He can't make 130. And he can't continue to make 135. And that's the reason why he's going to 140. He can't continue to make weight. You're not understanding that when you're 25 years old, you could cut 20 pounds. You could cut 30 pounds and make weight. But once you get to 30, cutting all that weight is not the same anymore, family. Tank be walking around 160s, 170s. If you think that at 30 years old, he could still be cutting 30, 35 pounds, you're delusional, bro. Delusional. Tank Davis will never fight at 130 in his life again. And you're talking about he could make 130. Tank Davis won't even fight at 135 again. We'll never see Tank fighting at 135 again. So you're saying that Tank Davis could make weight that he'll never fight in again. He'll never fight there. You can forget about that, bro. Side, in the 80s. No, and Tank Davis has actually been in the 180s. And you're talking about, he could make 130. Ramirez, it's delusional to even believe that, bro. Ramirez, the big fight for Tank are at 140, 147. But he got to build his strength up. Because Tank looks slimmer at 135 than when he looked at 130. Y'all look at his fights at 130. Tank was in dog shape. Posse track. I thought they had stopped weighing in the same day and then started again for a while. I knew they stopped in January a long time ago. I mean, it's been a long time since they did same day weighing. I know at some point they were doing it, but it's been years since that happened. Tate, against Tank, Ryan agreed to 136 just to win 135, like they wanted to do, and he would have had no rehydration clause. Skip a clipper. Styles make fights. I got Shakur 7-5 versus Tank. But man, Tank is a dangerous dude. I mean, look, Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson is a heck of a fight. Like I told y'all, to me, this is the biggest fight in boxing. But Tank don't want to fight Shakur. Tank don't want to fight Shakur. That's the reality. Tank, I think he fought 135 once versus Gamboa, then moved back down to defend his belts against Leo, then went to 140 for Barrios. Might be tripping. Yeah, you tripping, Tay. So let me show you. He moved up to fight Gamboa for a vacant secondary title. And remember, he had a few fights at 135. He did not move down to fight Leo to defend. Let me refresh your recollection. When he moved up to fight Gamboa at 135 for a secondary vacant title, is because he lost his title on the scale in his last fight. His original 130 title, he lost it on the scale because he couldn't make 130. And that's why he moved up. Then he moved down to fight Little Leo, who had just won a vacant title himself. And he beat Little Leo and moved back up. But remember, he brought up 130-pounder Androide Garcia to fight him at 135. He also brought up Lamont Roach from 130 to fight him at 135. So how many fights Tank brought guys from a lower division, or he went to a lower division, or he put a rehydration clause? The same people asking Shakur to fight everybody straight up, they not having that same energy for Tank. Tank ain't even fighting 135-pounders most of the time. He's fighting guys that are moving up, or he's moving down to fight them. Let's keep the same energy. Let's ask Tank to fight the guys in his division instead of bringing these little guys up. Gotta keep the same energy. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Keep the same energy. You got this energy for Shakur. Oh, no rehydration clause, Shakur. No rehydration clause for Shakur. But when Tank Davis putting out the rehydration clause, y'all like you didn't know. You forgot about Tank Davis rehydration clause? Come on, bro. We got to keep the same energy for everybody. Not just for the fighters that you don't like. And a different energies for the fighters that you like. Ramirez, brother Jay Smith. I'm a hater because I don't like Shakur like that. He's a great fighter, bro. I know. But he still ain't my preferred style. And that's okay. He's making millions and winning. Now, look. You're not the only one, Ramirez. A lot of people don't like Shakur. And a lot of people don't like his style. But we also can't grab onto a narrative and act like every single Shakur Stevenson fight is the De Los Santos fight. Look at how he fought Teofimo Lopez. Look at how he fought William Zepeda. Beat the shit out of both of them. Right there, point blank range. Outboxed him. Put it on him. Look at Teofimo's face after the fight. Both eyes swole up. Face looking like an avatar. Beat him up. But still, people going to keep floating the narrative. Oh, nah, man, Shakur's boring. And Shakur don't throw no punches. God damn, how many punches you want him to throw? Beat the shit out of Teofimo Lopez. Beat the shit out of William Zepeda. What do you want? How many punches do you want him to throw per fight? Side, man, Gamboa became the resident 135 punching bag. And Bo was finished. Yo, Terrence Crawford finished Gamboa. He turned him into a stepping stone. A stepping stone. My peoples. Virgil Ortiz and Oscar De La Hoya saga continues. I told you. I tried to tell you that Virgil Ortiz was going to take an L on this one. And y'all didn't listen. Some of you listened. But a lot of people didn't want to listen. And I try to tell you, my peoples. Suing your promoter without proof of breach of contract is going to backfire badly. Badly, my peoples. And now Virgil Ortiz is dealing with it. He's cooked. Tay, to the shelf go Virgil. I try to tell him, bro. I try to tell him. You sue your promoter and you lose in court, your ass is cooked. Virgil's lawyer, Virgil's manager, Virgil's team, they fucked up. That's the only way to say it. They cooked. And I'm going to tell you why. The fake narrative about how Oscar De La Hoya didn't want to make the fight with Boots got exposed. You know why it got exposed? Because ultimately what really happened is that Oscar De La Hoya was trying to make the fight with Boots between Golden Boy and The Zone and Matchroom. And Virgil Ortiz tried to backdoor De La Hoya so they could just make the fight with Matchroom alone, and there could be a little bit of more money to go around for everybody. Because obviously, if you make it within one promotional company, it's a bigger pie to split than if you do it with two promotional companies. But the problem is, your ass is on the contract with Golden Boy. You're on the contract, my G. You try to get out your contract. Now, I want you guys to think about this. The Golden Boy contract ends in May of next year. That means you have a year and a half, a year and some change to go for that contract to expire. With all that time left, let me play manager real quick. Let me play manager. You, Virgil, and I'm your manager. Here's what I would say to you. Virgil, you got until May of next year under contract with Oscar De La Hoya. There is no breach of contract. You're not on the contract with the Zone. Just because the Zone contract expired with Golden Boy, that doesn't mean your contract with Golden Boy expired, because you never signed the contract with the Zone. What we got to do here is, let's make the fight. Do you feel like you could beat Boots? I will straight up ask him, do you feel like you could beat Boots? Do you feel confident? If you feel like you could beat him, let's make the fight between Golden Boy and Matchroom. Let's get that W. And before May of next year, we might get in 1 or 2 more fights. So we could still do 3 more fights under Golden Boy. Keep raising your profile. Keep making money. And when the contract finish, we walk away clean. No problem. But if you sue him and he did not breach the contract, we're going to lose in court and we're going to be cooked. Because now De La Hoya going to see that you try to backdoor him and he could do whatever he wants. De La Hoya is going to have your career in his hands. So do not try to backdoor De La Hoya because you're going to lose badly in court. Let's play out this contract. Let's honor the contract like we're supposed to and then move on. We could do what Conor Benn did. Conor Benn played out his contract with Matchroom, and even though people see it like a scumbag move, but he decided to walk away. Cool, he don't got a contract. He could do that. You can't do that. That's what I would have told Virgil. Let's play out the contract with Golden Boy and honor it instead of trying to backdoor De La Hoya, because we're going to be cooked. If we lose in court, we cooked. Now Virgil Ortiz is appealing the decision from federal court, and he's going to go to arbitration. You know what arbitration means, my peoples? Arbitration means both sides are going to sit down and try to come to an agreement. De La Hoya could say, you want to leave your contract? Fine, pay me $50 million. Pay me $50 million and I'll let you buy yourself out. And then they're going to be like, we don't got $50 million. Okay, so you're stuck on the contract, goofy. That's the reality. He's cooked. Will be. Virgil better fight 2 fights and figure it out. He still never fought for a belt yet either. There you have it. Virgil Ortiz hasn't even won his first title. And I made the example last week about Mikey Garcia and what happened to him when he was fighting under Top Rank and tried to sue Bob Arum. What happened? Mikey was inactive for like 2-3 years. 2-3 years of inactivity. Dead in his prime. So now you got Virgil Ortiz. Now, I'm going to remind you guys, he was inactive. Remember at 147, when he got ill, he was inactive for like a year of inactivity. He wasn't able to fight Stanionis. So this is his second run at inactivity that he's going to have now. Because you either fight who Oscar De La Hoya tell you to fight, or you don't fight at all. But right now, Virgil's not fighting at all. He's appealing the decision from federal court, and he's going to arbitration. Do you know that arbitration can last years? We could be in arbitration for 2 years, just going back and forth. That's what arbitration can do to your ass. Cooked. Cooked. Should have never went after Oscar De La Hoya like that. Now he cooked. And by the way, look, because here's the thing. People like to take sides without seeing what's actually going on. You remember the narrative. I know you guys saw it all over social media. It's Oscar fault. Oscar don't want to make the fight. Oscar don't want Virgil to fight Boots. They wanted to, the people who don't like Oscar wanted to make this situation Oscar's fault. But look at the facts. Look at what actually happened. What actually happened is that Golden Boy and Matchroom was trying to make the fight, and Virgil Ortiz decided, no, I'm a free agent. I want out of here. I'm going to sue you in court. That's the reason we're not getting Boots versus Virgil. That fight could have been next, my peoples. That could have been the next fight. Boots versus Virgil. And it's not next because Virgil sued Golden Boy. So what's going to be next for Virgil? We don't even know. I want you to think about this. Because I never pick sides. I look at the facts and what's going on. I don't pick no sides. I want you to consider this. The last time Virgil Ortiz fought, he said, Oscar's always done right by me. Oscar's always took care of me. Oscar be calling me personally to check on me and see everything that's going on. I can't say nothing negative about Oscar De La Hoya. Virgil Ortiz been praising Oscar De La Hoya for years, my peoples. For years he been praising him, talking positive about him. But all of a sudden, when it was time to make the Boots fight, now Virgil want to leave Golden Boy. By surprise. Boom! Here's a lawsuit. We leaving Golden Boy. Huh? What the fuck just happened? We've been cool this whole time. What are we doing over here? They try to backdoor De La Hoya. That's really what happened. Try to backdoor him. And lost in court. Now what? Now what happens? What happens now? So we're gonna, and I told you guys this before, Virgil's gonna end up being put on a shelf, collect some dust, and be inactive. Because what's your promoter gonna do with you if you're suing him? If you're trying to backdoor him? You think your promoter's gonna get you opportunities and put you in a position to win and all of that? Nah, sit your ass down over there. Collect some dust. Everybody gonna forget about your ass. You're gonna have to rebuild your name after a year and some change. Tay, shout out Tom Brown. Salute. Bam. Pierre, he seems unsure about himself. Honestly, bro, I think like he don't want to fight Boots. He never wanted to fight Boots. They was clout chasing, calling Boots' name out because that's going to bring attention. That's going to bring some recognition. But honestly, from what I've seen, I don't think Virgil want to fight Boots. I haven't seen enough to tell me that he actually want to fight him. Raul Mercado, if a fighter loses too much, can he get out of his contract? Nope. You got to understand, a contract is not about winning and losing. If you have a 4-fight deal, a 5-fight deal, that's how many fights you got to fight under that contract. If you have a 2-3 year, a 3-year deal, that's how many years you got to fight under that contract. So Virgil Ortiz right now, he's in a situation where he's cooked. He's cooked, my people, because we're going to see him be inactive. You're going to deal with inactivity. If you've been following boxing long enough, my peoples, you know inactivity is the biggest enemy of a fighter. You're losing time. Boxing careers, most boxing careers are short. Boxing, and I'm talking about professional boxing careers, right? Not counting when you started as a little kid and all of that. No, no, no. Once you turn pro, most boxers could maybe get to 15 years. There's the Floyd Mayweather and the Bernard Hopkins and the all-time greats who are able to do it for 20 years. But the overwhelming majority of fighters, by 15 years in, and they're already washed. The other fights that they do after 15 years in, they out there getting beat up. They out there getting lumped up. You maybe, if you're that good, you could put in 15 years of professional boxing, successful, and winning titles and divisions and unifying all that stuff. If you're that good, 15 years. That's a very short career if you think about it. Because whatever job we do for a living, you could do it for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Remember, most people retire from real work, 9 to 5 work, at 60 years old. 65 years old in some cases. Boxing, you're not going to do it that long. You know how many fighters are completely washed up by the age of 35, 36? It's the great fighters. It's the elite amongst the elite that's still performing at 37, 38, 39, 40. It's the best of the best ever that do it like that. But the average Joe, by 35, their ass is done. So what I'm trying to tell you is, Virgil was already inactive at 147 when he got sick, when he fell ill. He was inactive for over a year. Now he's going to be inactive again. And he hasn't even won his first title yet. He ain't even become a champion yet and is already experiencing inactivity. So what does this situation do for him? It hold him back. It slowed down his career. It keeps him from accomplishing. So Virgil could end up being one of those cases of what could have been, what would have been. Right? I want you to think about this. Shakur Stevenson is a 4-division champion. Devin Haney, a 2-division champion. Teofimo Lopez, is he a 2 or 3 division? 2-division champion. Unified champion. These guys all been Ring Magazine champions. Look at all the accomplishments that these guys have already. And Virgil still hasn't even fought for a title yet. And it's going into inactivity. This was like suing Oscar De La Hoya was the worst thing that they could have done. Made a horrible mistake. Tay, we even heard about Virgil going to 160. Look, right now, he's at 154 and he's headed for inactivity. He's headed for inactivity. We don't know when is the next time that Virgil will step in the ring again. There's a possibility, my peoples, that in 2026, we're not going to see Virgil in the ring. Think about it. Cole, Devin is a 3-division champion. Look at that. Oh, yeah. 135. 135, 140, 147. 3-division champion. And look at Virgil. Hasn't fought for one title yet. Not even for one belt. Not a single major title. And you're going into inactivity right now. I'm telling you. I don't see Virgil stepping in the ring in all of 2026. And you know why I don't see it? Because he already said, I'm done with Golden Boy. I'm done with Golden Boy. He already put it out there. Now he's using his ego to express himself. Instead of staying quiet and let the legal situation play out, he's already having a big mouth. I'm done with Golden Boy. Okay. You could be done with Golden Boy, but you're under contract with Golden Boy. And you can't do shit without them. Your ass is cooked. He put himself in the same situation that Mikey Garcia put himself with Top Rank. Plus a track. Probably derailed his career with his mental health. I mean, look, to my understanding, Virgil Ortiz hasn't gone through mental health issues or mental health episodes. I think he may have derailed his career with the greed of his manager and lawyers. Greed derailed his career. That's what I think. Cole, Oscar is putting Ortiz on the shelf. He got Ryan as a champ now, so he's going to put Golden Boy behind him now. I mean, and Ryan see, that's the difference, though, between Ryan Garcia and Virgil Ortiz. I'm going to tell you what is the biggest difference, and I want you to notice this. Ryan Garcia has gone at Oscar De La Hoya a bunch of times on social media. Oscar this, Oscar that, F Oscar De La Hoya, F go, right? He's done that, right? But then what they do? They fight, he wins, and they kiss and make up. And they be happy with each other again. It's like a marriage. If you marry, you and your wife get mad at each other. Sometimes you spend a whole day, don't even want to talk to each other. And then you kiss and make up and everything is sweet again. So, we see Ryan Garcia and Oscar De La Hoya have friction, but they always fix the relationship and keep getting their money together, keep making the fights. Ryan Garcia ain't never sued Oscar De La Hoya to get out the contract, because he know how that plays out. You see, he got a smart team behind him. We could curse him out on social media. We could go at it. But when it's time to make money, we're going to kiss and make up. Now, Virgil, he cooked. Because not only did he try to backdoor Oscar De La Hoya, he's still talking that shit. I'm done with Golden Boy. I'm done. And I'm sure we're going to appeal this case, and we're going to go to court, and we're going to fight, and we're going to get out the contract. Your ass is cooked. You're not going to get out that contract, bro. I told you guys this from the beginning. The moment they announced that he was suing Golden Boy to get out of his contract, I told you guys he was done. Cooked. Tay, if Emiliano get a belt before Virgil, he might get cooked. I mean, right now, there's a possibility Emiliano Vargas might get a belt before Virgil. Because Emiliano Vargas is already talking about fighting a former world champion and then getting a title shot by the end of the year or early next year. So Emiliano Vargas, I'm not sure how close he is to a title shot, but I don't think he's far away from it. Pause the track. Yeah, I think Oscar sees more of himself in Ryan. I mean, Ryan Garcia has a lot of similarities to Oscar De La Hoya as far as being marketable. And I'm going to tell you why. I remember this very well. And if you're in your 40s, you probably do too. Oscar De La Hoya was the original Pretty Boy. Pretty Boy Floyd had the name, you know, Pretty Boy Floyd. But Oscar De La Hoya was the original Pretty Boy. And what I mean by the original Pretty Boy is that Oscar De La Hoya would have the stands full of women. Women went to see Oscar fight. Oscar De La Hoya, the women, they saw him like he was some type of model that was boxing. Even females became boxing fans to watch Oscar De La Hoya because they liked him. Oscar De La Hoya was like a pretty boy that looked like a model, but was great inside the ring. Olympic gold medalist. A lot of people forget Oscar De La Hoya is the original Golden Boy because of what he was able to do. The only Olympic gold medalist in the 1992 Barcelona Games. Come on now. Come on, my peoples. Hold on, we got a dummy in here. You got attention, dummy. This is the attention you got, dummy. So Oscar De La Hoya is a guy who won the gold medal at the Olympics, and from the moment he turned professional, he was already getting all this attention from the females, bringing in female fans to watch him fight. You see the same thing with Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is the pretty boy in boxing. He's one of those guys that's bringing female fans to the venue to watch him fight. Tay, basically, what I got from it was Virgil, manager, wanted 2.5 times more the amount that was offered, and got mad when they told him he had to make the fight or sit on a shelf. So, and Oscar De La Hoya said that himself, that they wanted like 3 times more money than what Golden Boy was contractually obligated to pay out, which is stupid. It's stupid, my peoples, to do that. You sidelined Virgil yourself. His own team cooked his ass. Now, you guys think where you work at right now, the company that you work for, imagine you showing up over there talking about, yeah, I need y'all to start to triple my salary. I need you to triple my salary right now. Yeah, so I make $15 an hour. I need you to start paying me $45 an hour. Huh? Security's gonna escort your ass out the building, bro. They gonna have you get drug tested. Yo, drug test this motherfucker, B. What is he talking about? He needs to triple his salary. What is he talking about? You need to take a look at your contract where you agreed to triple your salary. Man, you need to get fired. You a goofball. They wanted a shitload of money that wasn't even on the contract. You bound to lose. And look, I'm not a lawyer. I ain't no lawyer, right? But I already knew if Virgil Ortiz is not under contract with the Zone, it doesn't matter what the Zone and Golden Boy do, because you're under contract with Golden Boy. That's how I knew that he was going to lose in court. You trying to become a free agent because the Zone contract expired with Golden Boy? What are you talking about? You don't got no contract with the Zone. That shit was mad obvious to me, y'all. I saw that thing coming a mile away. And I like, Virgil is cooked. Completely cooked. Queen. But I feel for him. He really thought that he would get his way, now getting shit legal advice in his position. They gave him some nasty legal advice. His own team cooked his ass, bro. Pasa track. And Jay, he ain't winning nothing in court. You're totally right. He's cooked. He completely cooked. Quick. What does he do now for Zufa? Might wave him off. Tay, Virgil couldn't even sell out his hometown. And he won 3 times the more money that he was offered. Like nasty work. Virgil's manager, his lawyer, his team, they let him down. They let him down, my peoples, because they put him in a situation that he was going to lose. I knew he was going to lose. And there you go. He took a nasty L in court. Cole. Ortiz priced himself out to fight Boots, and Boots lowballs all his ops, so nobody going to make a lot of money if they make this fight. They're going to make a lot of money. They're going to make a lot of money. Virgil would have made a career payday. You see, that's what I don't understand. I know people like the narratives, the more popular narratives. Virgil was going to make a career payday, bro. Virgil was going to get paid more than he'd been paid for any fight in his life. So how is that not a lot of money? You're getting a career payday. You're getting a career payday, bro. And then we talk about not a lot of money. How many people in here making $4 or $5 million? I don't think none of us making $4 or $5 million. So $4 or $5 million is not a lot of money. That's crazy. Boxing fans, yo, we the only ones that go around saying that millions of dollars is not a lot of money. Virgil make millions of dollars fighting Boots. How is that not a lot of money? They knew the whooping he was about to take was to have Virgil on the sideline for a minute. They knew it. They knew it. They didn't want to fight Boots. That's my opinion. They never wanted to fight Boots. Pass the track. Virgil been watching too many Money Mayweather videos. Look, man, he could watch all them Floyd Mayweather videos. You know how many titles Floyd Mayweather had already won by the time that he got to Virgil's age? He was already a not unified, but he was already a multi-division champion by the time he was Virgil's age. And Virgil hasn't even fought for his first title. Now, who's the guy at Golden Boy? Right here. Ryan Garcia is the guy at Golden Boy right now. He's the cash cow. Ryan Garcia right now is one of the biggest stars in boxing. And to top it off, and that's what's really pissing a lot of people off, is that he's a world champion. He a reigning world champion in the welterweight division. He's the guy. He's the guy. While Virgil ain't even fight for a title yet. Cool. I know Ortiz is going to get his career payday, but it's not going to be the face of Golden Boy betting boost and take Ryan's spot. Ortiz think he's bigger than the program. He's cooked for it. He's cooked, bro. And his team gave him horrible advice. When they made the decision to sue Oscar De La Hoya to try to get him out of his contract, they made a horrible decision. Not only that, I want you to think about this. Virgil Ortiz decided that he was a free agent. So much so that Eddie Hearn was already offering him contracts to fight Boots. How Eddie Hearn offering a contract to a fighter that signed with another promotional company? He signed to Golden Boy. What are you doing offering contracts? Oh, because Virgil's saying that he's a free agent. No, you're not a free agent. And the courts already showed you that you're not a free agent. Federal court told you you can't fight nobody if it's not on the Golden Boy. He took a nasty L. Boxing record might be undefeated, but against De La Hoya, he's 0-1 right now. Took a nasty L. Virgil seen him fighting hecklers and make anything any better. Oh my God, that's horrible. That's horrible. Because that's the one thing we have to understand. When you do stuff like that, you affect the brand. You didn't see what happened when Teofimo Lopez Pops was out there fighting too with Keyshawn Davis' team. That affected their brand. You don't see when Keyshawn Davis and his brothers, when they went in the locker room of the guy that beat his brother, and they had that little scuffle, that affected their brand. Look, Keyshawn Brothers is fighting on a small card in a small venue around people that we don't even know. They was fighting, Keyshawn's brother was fighting in top rank cards on the Keyshawn Davis cards. Not no more. Now they fighting in a venue, in a small venue. Why? Because they put themselves in hot water with that scene that they caused. So we gotta understand, boxing is a violent sport, and they do what they do inside the ring. But outside the ring, you gotta know when it's time to be a professional, when it's time to behave like a professional, because you could diminish your own brand. Boost 40 cal. Virgil is cooked. Shaw versus Soft Dev. I really want. I mean, listen. We got to get past Rollies and Dev and see how that fight plays out. Because I think it's going to be a good fight, man. I think it's going to be a real good fight. Pass the track. Virgil should write Oscar a love letter. In all reality, I mean, right? That's why I'm telling you that Virgil put himself in a bad spot. Because Oscar De La Hoya has his career right here. Right here, he got Virgil's career. And Virgil's talking about, I'm done with Golden Boy. And I'm appealing the federal court decision. And we go into arbitration. So it's like he's still trying to fight back. You already took a L in court, and you still trying to fight back. You know what y'all really doing? Y'all wasting lawyer money. Y'all wasting time. Y'all getting more under Oscar De La Hoya's skin, and you're doing all but guaranteeing that you're going to be inactive sitting on a shelf. Sitting on a shelf, wasting precious time of your career. Bad move all around. Cole, Eddie's a snake. And that's why he lost Ben. Because he didn't make fighters. He find fighters with names and act like they next up. But here's something that you got to consider. Conor Benn is taking a lot of flack. And there's people saying what he did to Eddie Hearn was a scumbag move. You know why? You got to take into consideration who was there for Conor Benn when he popped dirty for steroids. Everybody turned their back on him. Everybody was like, nah, this guy's a steroid user. This guy's done. This guy, nobody want to be part of anything to do with him. Fighters saying, nah, I wouldn't fight that steroid user. Like, he looked like his career was done. And Eddie Hearn stood by him. Eddie Hearn kept going in front of the cameras defending him. Tooth and nail. Always defended Conor Benn. Always talking positively about him. His own father told him, yo, you got to cut him loose. We don't want nothing to do with that guy. And Eddie Hearn was like, nah. I'm going to keep supporting him. So Eddie Hearn showed Conor Benn loyalty. And then Conor Benn pulled that move. Like, oh, we out of here. Eddie Hearn found out Conor Benn was going to Zufa on social media just like we did. He didn't even give him a call. The guy that's been looking out for him, doing for him, trying to get him opportunities, got him Chris Eubank Jr. fight, got him his biggest paydays, helped him become a big star. You didn't even give him a call and say, yo, Eddie, these people offering me this money, man. I'm going to take this money from them and then we could work something out. You didn't even do that. You just straight up shitted on him. So for Conor Benn himself, that's not a good look, bro. He looked like a scumbag. He looked like loyalty is not part of his vocabulary, bro. Tay, can't wait to see your fight prediction on the other channel. Salute, family. By the way, man, to those who's not subscribed, subscribe to Box Center 2.0, my peoples. Lots of videos get posted on there almost daily, and that is exclusive content. Anything that you see on Box Center 2.0 only drops on Box Center 2.0. Pass the track. Virgil went chasing waterfalls, man. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Should have been listening to TLC. Queen, Rolly for the win. I seen a lot of people predicting that Rolly's is gonna beat Devin. I don't know, man. That's gonna be a good fight. That's gonna be a real good fight. Cole, I blame all the public courthouse play on Devin Haney suing Ryan. Bassett been crazy ever since. I mean, I think he learned a lesson from suing Ryan Garcia. You guys know that he ended up dropping that lawsuit. I think he knows that was a mistake. He caught a lot of flack. That affected his image. You know, his image took a tumble. Because that's what everybody was talking about. Wow, boxer suing. Like, we know about the 3 pounds overweight. We know about the steroids. But you suing him in court? We ain't never seen that before. And we may never see it again. So, you know, Devin knows that he messed up with that one. But he already moved on. And we might see a rematch. At some point, we might see that rematch. Reef J, Virgil management team treating it like WWE. Reef, Devin gotta fire. Virgil gotta fire everybody involved in this shit. All those people got him cooked. He cooked because of them. Virgil looking at his lawyer like, yo, I thought you said we were gonna win in court, B. Fuck is going on over here? Cole. Same thing with Ryan and Oscar. Stuck with him. You're supposed to. But that's what I'm saying. Look, Ryan Garcia, he know he's stuck with Oscar, right? So they could fight all they fight on social media, but they always kiss and make up. What happened after the Barrios fight? You see Ryan Garcia and Oscar De La Hoya hugging it out. And Ryan Garcia thanking Oscar De La Hoya for the opportunities. So they fight. Oscar De La Hoya and Ryan Garcia seem like they fight all the time, but they always kiss and make up, and they always go make that money. Ryan Garcia has never tried to sue to get out of his contract. He know what happened. You sue and you lose in court, your ass is cooked. You're going to be Virgiled up. Quick. Damn, even his dad left him. And now Conor Benn really is a scumbag. Eddie really should have just told him to go kick rocks. I know that right now Eddie's like, damn, yo, when this dude got busted for steroids, I should have sent him to kick rocks. Get the hell out of here. We don't need you. Eddie tried to be loyal, and then he pulled that scumbag move on him. Pasta track. A fighter should have a trainer, manager, and promoter, and manager. Damn, you said manager twice. And Oscar proves all that. Cole. The boxers get snaked every day. Ben just took control of his own career. Eddie wasn't making him money. No, he was making money. He wasn't making $15 million for a fight. That's for sure. And Cole, look, I said it before, and Greg Hackett is the first person to tell me this, but I agree. I think the $15 million for one fight is going to turn out to be cap. I think they did media manipulation so that nobody can match that offer. Because if you offer Conor Benn $15 million for a non-title fight versus pro race, Cole, not even the main event, nobody's going to match that offer. Nobody's going to give him $15 million for that. But what if, in reality, that $15 million is going to turn out to be for 3 or 4 fights? What if it's that? We're going to find out with time. But I think that they capping. The math isn't mathing. I don't believe that they're going to give him that $15 million for just that one fight. Time will tell. Shakur hands. Rolling for the win. Only for looking for a cheap win. Ooh. Rolly's for the W. Let's see it, man. It's a title fight, a unification fight. Rolly's has been looking real good. He looks spectacular against Ryan Garcia. So let's see. Can he do it against Devin Haney? Tay, Edgar Berlanga throwing money on Oscar was straight out of WWE. Edgar Berlanga, man, at this point, I don't know what to make of him. You know, the 2 times that he challenged big dogs, he got dominated. Versus Canelo Alvarez, he was out there just trying to survive, just happy to go 12 rounds. And versus Hamza Shiraz, he got pummeled brutally. Now he's trying to get Chris Eubank Jr., who's coming off of a loss, who's coming off of a stoppage loss. And that's who he want to fight. So I don't know. At this point, Edgar Berlanga, he looks like he's just trying to become a character in boxing than somebody who's actually going to be accomplishing and winning titles and doing all this stuff. Tay, Virgil Sr. definitely didn't want to fight. He looked scared when he seen Boots in person. I told you guys before, man, Virgil and his team, to me, none of them want to fight Boots. None of them. Tay, I find it crazy. Conor Benn mentioned everybody not named Boots when they was a part of the same stable, because he don't want it. He didn't want it. Maybe that's why he was like, yo, I gotta leave Matchroom, because at one point they're gonna want me to fight Boots, and I'm not trying to fight this dude. And that's a way to get away from that fight. Reef J, crazy how Virgil might get put on a shelf while his manager has other fighters to get money off of. I'm telling you, Virgil Ortiz could have been headed to being one of the biggest stars in boxing right now. Virgil has everything. He has the style. He's an exciting fighter to watch. He got the looks. No diddy. He's a handsome looking dude. You know, Mexicans bring in a lot of fans. Virgil Ortiz was set up to become one of the biggest stars in boxing. And look, his own team sidelined his ass. He cooked because of them. Come on now. Tay, facts. That offer sounds fake. I believe that's a fake offer. And I'm going to tell you why that $15 million sounds fake to me. Look at these factors and consider them. Number one, and this is the most important thing to consider, Zufa Boxing supposedly signed him for $15 million for one fight, right? Zufa Boxing. But his fight with Regis Progress is not in a Zufa card. It's a Rhea season card. Why would Zufa pay $15 million and you're not even fighting on Zufa? You're fighting on Rhea season. So that's the number one thing that doesn't make sense. The number two thing that doesn't make sense, you giving $15 million to a dude so he could fight the co-main event. I bet you guys that the main event fighting that night, oh, well, it's Tyson Fury. It's Tyson Fury. It's on the undercard to the Tyson Fury fight. So take that into consideration. You on the undercard for $15 million? Does that really make sense? Undercard, not a Zufa, not a Zufa card, and then you fight in Regis Progress. The math is just not adding up. Not adding up, my peoples. I don't see it. So to me, straight up media manipulation. They said we're going to give Conor Benn $15 million for one fight so no promoter can match that offer. So the other promoters could stay away. Like, oh shit, nah, $15 million, I'm not paying them that. But it's really going to turn out to be more to it. Watch Conor Benn fight on Zufa. So that $15 million is going to be like a 2-3 fight deal. Watch. Watch. Remember I told you that. Reef, 150, only 4 pounds away from 154. Shakur hands. See what I mean? Bill be capping. Time all day. He's fake street cat. Nah, he's not a fake street cat, bro. I hope you're not saying Bill Haney's a fake street cat. He not. He not in the streets anymore, for sure. He not in the streets. He a professional these days. But Bill been in the streets, bro. Reef, tell Conor try to eat his eggs with some boats. Listen, man, Conor Benn, he's going to fight Regis Progress supposedly for $15 million in Rhea season. I don't believe it. That's just me. Cole, I'm waiting on the return of the big fish, Errol Spence. Let's see, man. Supposedly, we're going to get Errol Spence versus Tim Tszyu, but Tim Tszyu's going to get a tune-up first. Or that's what was reported, and then they're going to fight each other. Which I don't like that because Errol Spence been inactive for over 2 years. He should be getting a tune-up. Just do boxing. Double tap that screen. Hit the like button. My peoples, we've been at it for almost 2 hours. Not even 30 likes, man. Stop with the ghost watching. In 2026, we hitting the like button. And by the way, subscribe to Just Do Boxing. Go ahead, subscribe over there and get this real boxing talk. Shakur hands. King of the New York Circus Act. You may be talking about Edgar Berlanga, B. Edgar Berlanga on some weird stuff these days. That's what I'm going to say about him. It don't even look like he's trying to accomplish anymore. He just out there trying to get some paydays. Pasta track. Virgil Old Mirror destroyed the show before the show even began. Reef. I'm taking a dive for a bonus. Call. All turkey money is funny to me. I mean, listen, I understand that fighters, they're going to chase the money. They're going to go after the money. And that's probably why they put that fake offer out there, that fake deal. The $15 million for one fight, I don't believe it. I don't believe it just yet. And I think that's part of it. Other fighters hearing about it, like, oh, shit, damn, I need to get paid like that. As a matter of fact, John Jones, even though that's UFC, but John Jones, he wanted $15 million to fight in the White House. And they couldn't agree to how much he getting paid. That's reportedly what he wanted, 15 mils. He must have been like, okay, you giving him 15 mils? I need 15 mils. And they're like, nah, we ain't got that type of money. We ain't got that type of money for you, buddy. Sorry about that. I'm a sub to your channel. Salute, family. I appreciate you, brother. Bam. Sound. His purse for Zufa fight is probably going to be $500K. And they're going to say, we already have you 15 million. So you have to take the fight. Shakur hands. Edgar Berlanga, Circus Act B. Listen, man, Edgar Berlanga. Look, and this is how I felt about Edgar Berlanga. I felt like he was going to be one of the biggest star coming out of Puerto Rico, right? Or the biggest Puerto Rican star, and it just didn't play out that way. To me, it felt like it got to a point where he stopped getting better, and he was just, that's it. That's who he is, that's it. While I saw Xander Sayas keep getting better and better and better. So now, to me, Xander Sayas is the face of Puerto Rican boxing. He's the guy. Edgar Berlanga, he's becoming kind of like a sideshow. You know, he's real flashy. He got a big mouth. He talk a lot. He auto-named himself the King of New York without ever even winning a title. And look, he already been pummeled twice. Never won a title. Hasn't accomplished yet. So I don't know if this is just what Edgar Berlanga is going to be. He's going to be like a character. Double AD, Berlanga got too Hollywood. He cares more about his image than his boxing. It looks like it. It looks like it. When he started saying that he the King of New York, I was like, oh man, this guy's not focused. This guy, he the way he rolls around with the crew and with the ice style and call himself the King of New York, I was like, nah, man. Nah, this guy's not, he's not going all the way. He's not that. You know, people want him to be it, but he ain't. My peoples, are we ever going to get Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis? I think this fight is possible. In a way, I kind of gave up on it simply because as long as Tank and his team have no interest in fighting Shakur, that fight's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Tay, Khalil Cole versus Ben Whitaker, that's a heck of a fight. That's a heck of a fight. Raul Mercado, he is not a real Boricua. Some guy, I thought Tank was going to jail. So, look, man, right now, it looks like Tank is coming back this year. Like, we're going to see him in the ring this year. That whole situation is going to get settled in court. But while it's playing out, he could still fight. He could still fight. And I said this before. If Tank Davis end up getting convicted, he's not going to do a lot of time in jail. Is he going to jail? We don't know that. You know, it's hard to say, right? But if they actually convict him, he could end up going to jail for like 6 months, 8 months, a year. And Tank is only 30 years old. If he go to jail for whatever amount of time they give him, which is not going to be a lot, he's still going to be able to come out and be one of the biggest stars in boxing. He's still going to come out. Remember, Mike Tyson went to jail for a couple of years. And as soon as he came out, he was the biggest name in boxing. So if Tank Davis does get convicted and go to jail, he's not going to spend a long time in jail. He didn't get caught with 50 kilos of coke. He didn't murder nobody. He didn't get caught with an explosive device. Domestic violence, I don't want to downplay it. Domestic violence is serious. It's serious. But his case, if he does get convicted, he's not going to go to jail for a long time. And it's a possibility that he might not even go to jail. It's a possibility that they might send him to anger management classes, probation, and other stuff that he got to do. He might not even go to jail. Some guy. But what kind of game you're going to have in the ring with that weight on you? Double AD. He can also take a plea for some therapy and probation. But that's what I'm saying. I think that he might end up, dealing with some type of plea bargain where he serves no jail time. I think that, it could really play out that way. Aroma Sound. Tank versus Shakur is going to be like the Crawford versus Spence fight if it happens. It will happen years from now when they're both ready to retire. I mean, wait a minute, because Arrow and Bud was not ready to retire when it happened. It's just that Bud retired him from that beating that he gave him. But after that, Bud moved up and became a world champion in the next division, then jumped up 2 more divisions and beat the face of boxing. One of the biggest wins in boxing history, by the way, is Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. One of the biggest wins that we'll ever see in our lifetime. Remember, I told you that. Aroma Sound, Tank versus Shakur. Oh no, Pasta Track. Nah, Tank got that Jewish lawyer. He's good, trust me. Tank got lawyer money and high-powered attorneys. Quick, but he might change physically after jail. It's that he's not going to spend a long time in jail, bro. If he does go to jail, if he does go to jail, I promise you it won't be a long time. It'll be months. 6 months in jail, some shit like that. You're going to come out exactly the same and hungry and mad and wanting to climb in the ring. Double AD, exactly. You're probably right about Tank. Pasta Track. I hope not. I would like to see them two fight while in their prime. That's the one thing, bro. I hope that it happens soon. And soon doesn't have to be next, but soon while they in their early 30s at least. I hope that we don't have to wait until Shakur's 36 and Tank is 38. Which, look how many years away we are from that. 8 years away from that. I hope that we don't get Shakur versus Tank the way that we got Pac-Man versus Floyd. Like at the way tail end of their career. I don't want that. I want to see them fight each other now. Even next. I'd love to see that fight. I know it's not going to happen. Of course it's not going to happen. Tank don't want it to happen. As long as Tank don't want to fight Shakur, they're not going to fight. Queen, can you explain why is he maybe going to jail? Because of the allegations against him, bro. You have to understand, right now, the allegations are that he basically kidnapped a girl, assaulted her. That was his ex-girlfriend, kidnap, assault. So for domestic charges, people go to jail, bro. People go to jail for that. And the thing is, that's why I say he might, because this is not the first Tank Davis domestic incident. Those are very well documented. Remember when he dragged that girl off the basketball court? Whoa! Dragged out of there. The cameras followed him. And then when they went to the back, what he do? He dragged her to a different area and closed the door. Now, you got to think about it. When a man grabs a woman and drags her off a basketball court where there's like 10,000 people in that venue, and you drag her out in front of everybody, that means you don't give a fuck. And now you drag her out in front of everybody. And when y'all in the back there, the cameras follow you, but you drag her into a separate room. What you think he dragged her into that private room for? For Bible study? To read her a book? So Tank Davis already has a history of domestic issues. So when you have a history and then you get arrested, all of that stuff or some of it can come up in this case. That's why I think most likely the lawyer is going to work out a plea deal where he's going to plead guilty to not serve any jail time, to do anger management classes, to do rehabilitation, to do something to try to avoid time. I don't think they fight this case to the end and let it go to a jury's hand. Because the type of things that a jury might hear during that trial. He's done this before with women. He's done that before with women. And look at this case. We got to protect women. And they'll make an example out of his ass. That's why I think that they're going to need a plea bargain. They're not going to go all the way with this one. Queen, Jesus Christ. I don't think kidnapping is going to be let off. Put yourself a few months. I mean, but they could drop that. If it's a plea bargain, that's why it pays to have, you know, a great lawyer. If it's a plea bargain, they'll end up dropping the kidnapping stuff. And he'll end up, you know, pleading guilty to third degree, fourth degree battery or I don't know what the hell. But he'll end up pleading guilty to the lower possible charges and shit. Ramirez. What about when Shakur smacked a girl they was jumping with her man? You see, Ramirez, that's how you show that you're a bona fide Shakur Stevenson hater. Like, Tank is in court right now, dealing with this shit right now, and you bringing up some shit from over 10 years ago, bro. That's how much you hate Shakur, bro. You're going to bring that shit up for the rest of his life. That was already handled, bro, years ago. They not going to arrest Shakur for some shit from over 10 years ago, bro. You got to stop bringing that up, bro. Let that shit go, my guy. Pasta track. Tank needs to either control his temper or get away from mouthy, vindictive women. I don't know. Look, and I said this before, my peoples, and you have to take it into consideration. I've seen men crashing out on gold diggers all the time. I've seen it here in the Dominican Republic. I've seen it in the U.S. You know why? Because a gold digger will make you buy her the expensive purse, buy her the expensive jewelry, buy her an apartment, buy her a car, and then one day she could just be like, yeah, I'm not feeling you no more. I'm good, I'm straight, I'm not feeling you no more. And then you see men crashing out on these women like, what? Hold on. You telling me I got you all this shit? And that's it, you not feeling me no more? And you keeping all that shit? Men be crashing out on women. They be crashing out. Double AD. Something called statute of limitation, my guy. Leave Shakur alone. I mean, but that's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. Like, the Shakur hate is crazy these days. Crazy. And it's going to get worse. The Shakur hate, the more his star power goes up, the more you're going to see hate. Quick. Then Tank should not be around women like this who get him to be emotional because now he might have to reinvent his image. You're repeating something, bro, that I said before. And I'm going to tell you what it is, Queen. Men who are jealous, who are aggressive, who have the type of a temperament that Tank Davis has, they don't have no business in the strip club. Tank got no business in a strip club. You know why he got no business in a strip club? Because look what he did. He started smashing the bottle service girl and made her his girlfriend. You do not go in a strip club and fall in love with any woman there. Why? Every single woman in that strip club see you like a trick. You are a trick. Okay? So if any of you been to a strip club and any of you ever had a woman sit with you from a strip club, you know the type of shit that they say, right? Oh my God, you different than everybody that comes here. You so nice. Oh my God, I really like you. I never liked nobody the way you. You just, you think they only saying that shit to you, bro? You really believe them when they say that shit to you? So you gotta understand, strippers, bottle service girl, and any woman working in the strip club, they not just dumb women. They smart. They say stuff to men so that men can give them as much as possible. That's it. They want you to give them as much money as you can. Buy them as much jewelry as you can. Get them a car. Get them an apartment. Get them everything that they could get from you. That's their only goal. So they're going to say what you need to hear. Oh my God, you different. Oh my God, I like you different than these other dudes. So Tank Davis fell for it. He fell for it. He actually got a girlfriend at the strip club. So I'm going to tell you what's being alleged. Alleged, because I don't know this to be a fact, right? But the girl's alleging that, and that's in the report out there, that Tank Davis would call her and flip out if she didn't pick up the phone after one ring. Why you didn't pick up the phone? Why you took so long to pick it up? Tank will flip out. Flip. If she didn't answer the call. Now, try to imagine that, bro. A girl working in a strip club. And you mad because she didn't answer the call. You out there looking like Captain Saberhole. You're literally a Captain Saberhole. This chick over there probably sucking Kizak. And you over there calling, yo, why you not picking up the phone? You better pick up the phone for me. While she over there sucking Kizak. What are you doing? What are you doing falling in love with a stripper? What are you, like? So, this girl's alleging that Tank Davis used to be mad jealous. That Tank Davis used to be calling her all the time. That he used to be telling her not to talk to men. How you got a girl working in a strip club and you telling her not to talk to men? How? So now, watch this. Tank goes to the place. The girl actually blocked Tank Davis from all social media. Now she's not with Tank Davis anymore. She dumped him. Now, why do you think a girl working in a strip club can actually dump a millionaire like Tank Davis? Why? I'm going to tell you why. Go ahead and look up Tootsie's. The Tootsie's Gentleman Club in Miami. Look up that place and see what's going on. Yo, it be NBA players going over there. It be movie stars going over there. It be all type of celebrities going over there. So guess what? Tank is not the only rich guy that goes to that strip club. There's people who got more money than Tank Davis going to that strip club. So you think a shorty working there who's seen people that got more money than Tank is going to be loyal to Tank? Shakur Hands, he got tricked. He was a trick. That's the reality. Tank Davis was a trick. And he was tricky. And what happened to him happened to a lot of dudes. They start tricking. And when they realize that they're a trick, they black out. They black out. Imagine, because that's the thing. That's a whole different level of tricking. At our level, we might buy a chick a purse. We might buy her a little chain. We might take her out to what is an expensive restaurant to us. But at that level, you buying $20,000 chains, you buying cars, you buying apartments and paying rents, you doing all type of shit. All type of shit. Ramirez, and fighters actually get more pay than basketball players. Ramirez, there's fighters out there fighting for $10,000 a fight, bro. All fighters don't make millions of dollars. There's fighters out there that's fighting for $5,000 for a fight. I know you want to fight for Tank Davis' honor, but he's in a bad situation right now because he was tricking on a strip club girl. You tricking on a bottle service girl. Don't get in a relate. Don't walk in a strip club, meet somebody, and think that they really want to be with you. Their goal is to make as much money as possible. Okay, so there you have it. When you walk in a strip club, don't fall in love. Don't be Tank Davis. Don't date the bottle service girl and then be jealous when she's fucking around with other people. Because you're going to end up taking a nasty L. Pasta track. No NBA player get attention for 2 reasons, my guy. They 7 feet, bro. Shakur hands. The lowest is $3 million deal on the low end. Tay, Jay, you even heard of Passport Bro? You ever heard of Passport Bros? Of course. Of course, my guy. The Passport Bros. Now, listen. Passport Bros is already old. Now you got the Passport women. You got the Passport chicks these days. Queen, I won't lie. This story is making Tank kind of look like a goofball at the moment. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. He actually, this whole situation is behind Tank getting in a relationship with a bottle service girl. This whole thing. And why it looks bad for him is because homegirl blocked him from everywhere. Like, I'm not dealing with you no more. I guess you realize, yeah, he's going to be giving me money, but this guy's too jealous, threatening to beat my ass. I'm not dealing with him anymore. She dumped him, blocked him from all social media apps. So what the average Joe would have done, like, oh shit, this hoe blocked me, F her. F her, I ain't dealing with her no more. Instead of doing that, what Tank Davis do? Showed up at her place of work. And what's the story that they got? Go look it up. And you know what's crazy? It's not just allegations. They got it on camera. It's on camera. That's why Tank got arrested. That's why they had a warrant out on him and everything. They got evidence. They got Tank Davis going on camera in front of other people, other strippers, grabbing her by the neck, dragging her outside, dragging her downstairs to the parking lot. I don't know if it's downstairs or where's the parking lot. And then refusing to let her leave. Refusing to let her go anywhere. More people had to go. That's on camera. More people had to go down. They're like, the scene that's going to get caused, right? Other strippers, let her go. Shit like that. So eventually, Tank see everything that's going around, all these people, all this commotion that's being caused, and he let her go. And she ran back to her friends. All that shit is on camera, bro. For a stripper. You did all that for a stripper. So, Tank Davis got no business in a strip club. Because women like that are going to make him black out. Women like that are gonna clean you out. Not clean you out because you got a lot of money, but they're gonna make you spend a lot of money on them. And then when they say, hey, I don't wanna fuck with you no more, you're gonna black out on them. That's not the type of women that you wanna be going after. Tay, I don't know how I would react. I never even been in his position. Wait, he can't be in this famous and can't find a girl that he can marry. Marriage ain't everything when you rich. When you rich, ask Tom Brady. Rafe, Tank was listening to T-Pain. Oh man, I don't know what he was listening to, who he was listening to, but Tank Davis needs to stay away from strip clubs, baby. He gonna walk in a strip club, a shorty with a fat ass gonna come to him like, oh my God, I never met nobody like you. And he gonna be falling in love again. And then blocking out when she's smashing with the next millionaire. Reef, Brady sacrifices marriage for another Super Bowl victory. Goat shit. Wilbies, smash that like button, my peoples. Hell yeah, salute my brother Queeb. I don't know, man. You can't be this famous and fall for the same trick as everyone. It happens though, right? We keep seeing it happening. We keep seeing, and it's not even just famous. I think it shows that men tricking on women happens at all levels. At all levels, bro. Wilbies, tricking ass Tank. Tay, then she took half his earning for that BBYK. Reef J, a lot of famous people fall for it. That's the reality, bro. Look, men tricking on women, it happens at all levels. Right now, listen, right now, there's some guy working at Burger King making $12 an hour, and on Saturday, when he getting paid his little $600, he's gonna go with that $600 and give $300 to some stripper. Right now, that shit happening. So it's not just to millionaires, bro. It's at all levels, men trick on women. And then out of the men who trick on women, some of them, when they find out that they just a trick, they walk away. They be like, damn, shorty got me. Got me. Fuck it. Let me take this L real quick. But then there's men out there who they like, oh shit, she really got me. She really had me tricking. Oh, hell no. I'm not leaving this like this. We're going to have to do something about this. And then there's dudes that be blacking out. Aroma Sound, these young athletes love these Instagram models. So even if he doesn't go to the strip club, he going to be with the same type of women. Okay then, but if he going to be with the same type of women, look what happened to Devin Haney. Look what happened to Devin. I saw that coming a mile away. Got himself a little IG model. Don't you understand that IG models ain't real models? They not real models. They good looking. Oh yeah, they good looking. But they not real models. IG models is also women looking for somebody to trick on them. 9 times out of 10. They looking for somebody to trick. They looking for somebody to provide. Pasta track. OnlyFans tricking a whole generation from home. I mean, OnlyFans is literally a loophole for legal prostitution. That's a loophole for legal prostitution. That's what that is. Trevor Bruce, money don't change you. It makes you more of what you already are. Trevor Bruce, that's a fact. That is a fact. If you're a corny motherfucker getting money, now you're going to be a dude with a corny motherfucker with money. That's all you're going to be. You're going to be a cornball with money. Whatever you are, money. That's the way. And I said this before, Trump Bruce. When people say money change people, money don't change you. Money just exposes you. Because everybody humble when they broke. Everybody's mad humble and mad nice and mad want to be there. But when people get money, that's how you know what they really are, the type of people that they really are. That's a fact. Raul Mercado, they get a murder charge. Tay, it's a thirst trap. Reef J, just look at PJ Washington and Brittany Renner's situation. I mean, but Brittany Renner, everybody know what's up with her. Everybody know this girl, the list of celebrities that done smash with her, it's almost endless. So why would you say, yeah, let me get with this girl? She's going to be different with me. Come on now. Jeffrey Walker, facts, my brother. You ain't never lie. I'm trying to tell the truth out here. That's just the reality. That's just the reality. Aroma Sound. Just because you're a rich athlete doesn't mean that you are smart. Most athletes focus on their sport from the age of 7. They aren't well-rounded when it comes to the streets or even regular school. No, that's true. You see, the thing is, when you're an athlete, you're signing contracts for millions of dollars. So when you're making millions of dollars, people automatically assume that you're supposed to be smart or that you are smart. When you're making a lot of money, you're able to sell this notion that you're smarter than the people who have less money. But in reality, we see it over how often do we see athletes get millions of dollars and go broke? That's the norm. Do you realize that most athletes end up broke within 5 years of retirement? That goes for basketball players, that goes for baseball players, that goes for hockey players, that goes for every sport. They retire, within 5 years, they be broke. Why? Because their only focus was making money, making money, making money. But in most cases, once they left that sport that gave them those huge checks, they're not able to survive. Or for whatever money they make afterwards. They're not able to adjust their lifestyle to the type of money that they make after they retire. And they end up broke because of that. Ramirez J. Smith, if that was you being with them hussies, you wouldn't been doing the same thing, crashing out over. I already see you, Smith, just like Shakur. Oh my God, you bring Shakur, young boy, man, you talking too crazy, bro. I don't even know what you're talking about. You hate for Shakur, bro. You can't stop talking about him. Tate, I'm going through whatever Brittany Renner comes with. Reef J, when she keep asking to increase child support, I hope it's worth it. Shit. I'm telling you, man, these IG models will clean you out. Because here's the thing. IG allows people with no talent to mix up with the people who have talent. So the people who have no talent live off of the people who have talent, like a Tank Davis. Tank Davis is the perfect target for IG models, for strippers, because why? He want to be with a pretty girl that's going to do whatever I say. That's the thing about having money. Oftentimes you see people with money looking for girls, they got to do what I say. You got to get up when I say get up. You got to come over when I say come over. You got to shut up when I say to come up. You want to buy like a slave. You want to buy a female that does whatever you say. And what happens is that female is just looking to come up. She looking to make money. She looking to build her own lifestyle. And once she feel comfortable with what she took from you, she gonna walk away. She gonna be like, yeah, I'm out of here. I already got enough. I'm good. I'm straight. Reef J, look at Odell. He's saying 100M, not enough to live off of. You see? Millions of dollars. I'll put it to you like this. There's people out there, right, who are financially literate, who won the lottery, and after taxes, they got $1.5 million. And with that $1.5 million, just with the interest that they was getting from the bank, they live out their whole life. $1.5 million is enough for you to live out your whole life. Without even investing, just offer interest. But you're going to have a nice, normal size house. You just live with your wife. You just need a 1-bedroom. A nice, normal size house. A nice car, a nice little Mercedes-Benz or a Lexus. And live a nice life. Travel every once in a while to different countries. Have a good time. On weekends, have a drink here and there. Chilling. But what happens is that most people who win that $1.5 million, they go buy themselves a Ferrari. They go buy themselves a $50,000 chain. They go buy themselves a $100,000 Rolex. They trick on 5, 6 different women, buying women expensive stuff, and within a couple of years, they broke. Simple as that. Pass the track. You guys talking about Brittany Griner, who called Bell from Russia, right? Now, Brittany Griner is the basketball player. Brittany Renner is the chick that has been with everybody. Reeve J, Brittany Renner, not Griner, 2 different people. Yeah, that's 2 different people, bro. Come on now. You're in a different place. Reeve J, both like 2 different type of balls. Tay, what 50 Cent say, I ain't give her nothing. You see? 50 Cent know what to do. 50 Cent is like, yo, I ain't giving you nothing. You bring in what you want to bring in, but I ain't giving you jack shit. That's the reality. Come on, my peoples. Gotta stop tricking. And look, I'm going to tell you like this. Side, the chick who claiming like 50K child support a month of 3 different dudes. That's the thing. There's women out there that all they looking to do is give birth to as many kids as they can. Because they figure, yo, if I give birth and I get pregnant by a rich dude, that's 18 years of checks that I'm going to be getting. If I give birth to kids from 2, 3 different baby daddies and they all rich, that's 3 dudes that's going to be giving me money for the next 18 years. That's how they doing it these days. So if you want to be tricking on women, have at it. Listen, a woman will collapse a man's entire fortune. Collapse. I've seen it. I've seen it. You know why? Because you not only have to take into consideration the money that the man is tricking, you have to take into consideration that they get married. You have to take into consideration when the divorce comes. Now you got to give them half of your shit. But then you also got to take care of the kid for 18 years through child support, which you're going to give a shitload of money that she's not even going to spend on the kid 9 times out of 10 times. That's money for her. You might have to give alimony. Why you think that there's men out there who end up doing the worst? Instead of divorcing, they end up taking it out. Why you think that? Because they like, damn, yo, if I divorce this chick, she gonna make me pay alimony, child support. She gonna take half of everything, and I gotta pay all the lawyer fees. I'm gonna be ruined. I'm gonna be cooked. So they like, nah, fuck it. Fuck it. I'm gonna make her check out. That's why. Stop tricking, my peoples. Stop tricking. Pass the track. One woman destroy your whole life without taking your money, bro. Never mind if you married with that thing. Jerome, prenup. You see, prenup is the right way to go. The problem is that most people don't do a prenup. Most people don't do a prenup. And here's the deal. Prenup is the right way to go for wealthy people. And I'm going to tell you why it's the right way to go for wealthy people. If you're rich and you're marrying a broke chick, you need a prenup. You need that, right? Because she's going to want to divorce you and take half. But if you and your girl get together and both of y'all trying to make it, and both of y'all trying to make something happen, and both of y'all going to build an empire together, there's no need for a prenup. Because y'all doing it together. See? So if you building something together as a team, and if we break up, it's only right that we break half and half. It's okay. It's not wrong with that. It's not wrong with going half and half if we build the empire together. But if I got an empire built and you show up, talk about you love me, you want to be with me, yeah, we're going to need a prenup. Because you're not taking none of this shit if we break up. So there you have it, my peoples. That's my word of the day right there for you. Jerome, prenup gets ripped up when it's not done right. You're 100% right about that. A prenup, number one, there's people that think they're just going to write a prenup in a piece of paper, make her sign it. That don't mean shit. That get ripped and flushed in the toilet. You got to have a real prenup drawn up by a lawyer, stamped. You know, you got to have a legitimate document that's really going to protect you. And then that legitimate document, you got to put it in a deposit safe box in a goddamn bank. Because that's one piece of paper. You rip that thing up and it doesn't exist anymore. Queen, from a boxing stream to a marriage counseling stream. Oh, my peoples. I'm about to end this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in this morning. Y'all already know what it is. Tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be talking about this fight. What's next? What's next for Opetaia? Now that we know he got stripped off the IBF title, is he still going to try to fight for the other titles? What is next? What is next for Ryan Garcia? He says that he's going to announce his next fight. He's trying to get back in the ring in July. What's next for Shakur Stevenson if he's not going to fight Ryan Garcia? What's next for Tank Davis? It looks like he's trying to come back to boxing this year. So there's a lot of possible upcoming fights, a lot of guys that we don't know what's next. Teofimo Lopez says that he's going to the welterweight division. What's next for him? A lot going on in boxing, my people. We got to talk about it. Tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Salute Shakur Hands, Queen, Pasta Track, Reef J, JJ's in their house, Trail Brews, Jerome Truitt in the building. Disappointed. Disappointed said 1 pack. That's all you said? 1 pack? Man, get the fuck out of here. That's some dumbass shit to say. I don't even know what you mean by that. I'm blocking people who show up saying something and you're not even coherent. Blocking your dumb ass the fuck out of here. Side salute, my brother. Ramirez in the building, hating like crazy on Shakur Stevenson. Tankomaniac mode 100% today. My peoples, one love to everybody who tuned in this morning, man. Y'all know what it. Damn, we couldn't even get to 40 likes. That's crazy. But that's okay. That's okay. Shout out to the ghost watchers. Shout out to the ones who be sneak hating on Jay Smith. And one love to everybody who tuned in. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I'm Jay Smith. I'm getting the hell out of here, man. I got to go make this money now. Y'all already know. Salute to everybody, man. Bam. We out of here, fellas.